Hello, everybody. It's Renee here, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and Augie is back there, as you can see, my trustworthy little girl. And it's Tuesday afternoon around 2 o'clock, and I'm going to be starting my live. All right. And we are going to do a votive luminary item. It's a tea light holder, basically. I think it's more on the votive side since it's a little bit smaller than a big luminary bag. The pieces are fairly simple. Okay, and I'm going to show you these. Here are these pieces, and then this is what we're going to be making right here. And you can see inside here how that works. Okay, so we are going to be going live in a few moments, and we'll be talking about how to build this. All right, so going to my Facebook Live. Okay, see you in a second. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. We are here, just a few little items that I needed to take care of, but otherwise we are good to go. All right, so it is a votive luminary that we're doing today, and these are the items. As you can see, as far as designer paper goes, it doesn't take too much. All right, nor does it take too much of your cardstock. So I think this would be great for a class or a gift for sure. This was produced by Esther Coleman, and she did one of these, but she actually put a gift box in here. She is German, and she does have a blog. All right, and so you can see her designs. She went ahead and instead of doing these holes in here, she actually tied it around, and of course she had a gift. Well, we're going to go ahead and make a little votive gift box. There's a few peculiarities that we need to talk about for this item in particular, and we will be doing that today. Okay, so let's look at the pieces that we have. I've got some stars here that I see that I punched out. That was for later. All right, so you need 2 strips, and that is 2 strips of the DSP, and they are going to be 11¼ inches by 2¼ You can make them 2. This one is 2. It has a little bit bigger holes, but I wanted it to have smaller ones because I am going to go ahead and do some die cutting out here. So we'll talk about that and you'll see that. All right, so you need 2 strips of DSP, and this can be by 2. That means that you can get since each of these are 2, you can get actually 6. So you can do 3 actual votives out of 1 designer paper if you use 2. I just like little fatter strips. Score on the long side at 10¼ 6¾ 4½ and 1 inch. So both ends are at 1 inch. So we scored each of these exactly the same way. When I go ahead and do that, what I have a tendency to do is I put them together and score them together. So I simply put them in the machine, and then I scored at 10¼ 6¾ 4½ and then 1 inch at the end. All right, and then you're going to go ahead and actually these flip opposite side of what you're going to have on the outside. So I'm going to flip those back, and then the rest flips forward. All right, so then that's that one and that one. So that's how these two were scored. All right, and you just use your scoring tool, whatever scoring tool you have, to make those. Again, it's going to be going on the back side, flip that back, and these go forward. Okay, so that's how those go. And again, when I did do this, I literally cut them. I cut them, and then I keep them together at all times and do various things with them. And I will talk more about that. They are going to need, so once you have that, okay, you have the two pieces. This is very simple. You have the two pieces that are going to make your votive. That's all you're going to do. You're going to glue that, and most of it is done already. All right, so it's really cute, and you can make a little box to fit inside. You can do many things. You can put a little treat box. There is still just to show you real quick, there is still this treat box maker. There is still this treat box maker, all right, in the clearance rack, and I love this. And it makes great little treat box holders. So that would close that in, and you could have your little chocolate in there. So a treat and a treat if you like, but that depends on you. All right, so that's that piece, and we'll put that aside for right this second. Okay, and then the next piece is, we're going to go ahead, and this is the cardstock for the box for the actual holder. And this is going to be scored. This is going to be scored on the long side. So here, 6 3/4, then 4 1/2, 10 1/4, 6 3/4, 4 1/2, and 1 inch. Okay, at the very end. Then you're going to turn it around, and each of these are 3/4 of an inch on the short side. Oh, I did that wrong. I'm so sorry. So the box is 6 1/4 by 3 1/2. I did that wrong. So this is 3 1/2. This is 6 1/4 on the long side. You're going to score it at 5 1/2. I knew something was wrong because that was not an inch. This is for, I would think I was reading this for the DSP. But anyway, you're going to score it on the long side at 5 1/2, 3 1/2, 2 3/4, and 3/4. Those are your score lines right there. All right. Then you're going to flip it to the short side, 3/4 and 2 3/4. These are 3/4 inch. These are 3/4 inch. This center is 3/4 inch, just so that you know. All right. And so then, so you see right here, if you need to click and get that, you can see that. On this side is what you're going to cut up. Okay, and you're going to cut up all of these sides, and we're going to work on the box because it is really fairly simple. It takes most of the work though. So since you cut your piece, and now you're going to, now another hint that I gave you a hint a while ago about how to miter, and I talked to you about mitering from fat to thin. So it goes from the outside narrow to the inside. Okay, and that's how you always do that. All right, now the other thing is if you look here, these are the flaps that are going to go in and get glued. These are the flaps that you miter, not this piece, but these that get glued in. So that's what you want to do, and that's just a hint to remember in the future. And then you miter all of these, and then again here you're going to miter what goes in and gets glued, so that part doesn't make any trouble, you see. And so we're going to go here, and we're going to go in, and again it's the flap. so that you remember that. And that's always going to be that way. So in the future, when you're questioning, how am I supposed to miter? Well, it's always fatter to thinner from the outside. And then it's the flap that's going to get glued that you're actually mitering. So that's always good to know. All right, so we are on the box. I really do like this box. I think I did it all. There you go. That's how it looks at the end, which is just mitered. So a fairly simple box. Now we're going to go ahead and burnish all of those nicely. A very cute box. You can use this box for other things. Of course, you could have done this before, but I like it better the other way because what happens then is it's easier to cut if it's not already creased and folded. Okay, now this is actually pretty easy, but what we have to do, and it doesn't matter what side, is we are going to have to punch a hole. Now, if you have a hole punch that is 1.5 inches, that is perfect for your votive, okay? It'll fit your votive perfectly. So what you're going to do, though, is you're going to take one of the ends and you're going to fold it over. If you go ahead and actually die cut it out, then you just take your die cut, sit it right here in the middle. It should be about 1.5 inches large, and then put it through the machine, okay? Just put it right through the machine and die cut that circle out. If, on the other hand, you don't have that and you have a hole punch, then what you're going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, I'm going to fold over, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in the center, and you want to center it. It does not matter. You just want to make sure it's centered. So my thing is making sure it's centered. And what I do then is I look here how much I have below and how much I have at the top. It looks pretty good, looks pretty even to me. Looks like it's centered up here with these lines and how far over it is. So I'm really trying to center it by just eyeballing and hoping that I did well. And I did well. All right. And so this doesn't matter at all. And you'll see once I folded that, here it is, and I kept it on top. It doesn't even matter because it's going to fold down and you won't see that. But you don't need to worry about that at all. You can keep it on the inside as well. So basically what happens is you're going to fold it and fold it and make sure that that goes on the outside. So that's on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and put these on the inside. This folds up pretty easily. So basically, what would happen is you would go ahead and glue that and glue that. Keep this, so that goes on the inside. This is going to go. So if you look here, that's going to go on the inside like that. And then that flap is going to go on the outside. So that goes on both of those. That flap goes on the outside. All right. And then these are going to go in and in like this. Okay. Now, if you do it this way so you don't see that, this is going to be up. I prefer that that be down. So my idea, which is just fine, is to put this inside and then flap this down. Okay. Flap that down like that. And like that, but you can decide. And so that's pretty easy. You'll see it goes together only one way. So it's, now what people do is they go ahead and glue everything down piece by piece. I don't do that because I don't see the necessity to do that. All I need to do is once I have it closed, all right, once I have it closed, and take my glue here. Once I have it closed, I'm going to go ahead and put my glue right here on this flap, on the inner flap here on the side. And I'm definitely going to put this down and this over it, just like that. And I'm going to squinch it nice and tight and make sure that it's nice and tight and closed. And that'll keep that down. Now, to keep this down as well, I probably need to put my glue here as well on that tab. There you go. So there you go. There you go. Nice and tight, nice and tight. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to put my glue here so you don't have to do every single tab. The tabs are there to close it up, make sure it closes nicely and all of that. And that's cool. I'm going to put some glue on my tab like that. And then I'm just going to close it up, make sure it's a nice little tight box. Okay, and your votive will fit right in there. All right, so that's where that goes. You have a nice little circle here that you can use for something else. So that's cool. And so you can decide how you're going to put that in there once you do that. Okay, so that's that. All right, so you've got those two strips. The other items you need is something to decorate the front. Now, people don't do labels. They just put what you can do is you can, as you're tying this, you can tie in your label, and I'll show you that momentarily. And then you just hang your label and then you're done. I have a different idea for that. So my idea, because it is a votive, all right, I want to go ahead and do cutouts here. All right, but before I do that, I want to punch holes at my top to do my to go ahead and do my ribbon. That's what I want to say. So what I did is I went a ½ inch down and I went a ½ inch from the center on each of these. That's what I'm doing so that they are equal. You do want them equal. And so because of that, what you do is you put them together, both of the pieces together. All right. And I've marked them both. You can see the markings here, half down, ½ inch over, ½ inch over. That's where they are. You do need to keep them together. You do need to keep them in the same place. That is important. So I'm going to go about here. There. And there are 2 holes in each. About there. So there. So because I measured it, they're going to be the same place on all of the strips. And that is important. And I'll show you after I get those done. If I can see that. I think that's good. I can't see that pencil mark anymore. That's okay though. I think I can eyeball it kind of. There you go. And so what happens then is that when you tie it, they're all the same distance, so they'll come up the same. They all have, if they're at different levels, then they don't come up the same. So you want to make sure that they're all equal here. So when you tie them together, they're all equal. Because if you have a tendency to go higher and lower, it's a problem. So once we have that, we can go ahead and glue this together. Oh yes, I wanted to die cut. I want to show you what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead, and the die cuts I am using is the die cut from the pansy. Here is the leaf from the pansy. And actually what I would do is I would die cut right here, that pansy, and then I would actually punch. I have a small punch. It's the only punches that will work are small punches because of getting it in. Then I would go ahead and use this and go ahead and put it in. And I even marked where I wanted so that it would work well. And I went ahead and I would do something like this. Now, again, because I can put them together and I want it to happen to both of them, I can actually punch the hole out together. All right, so that would be for the one, and then I would die cut these. So, and I would put that together, and then I would do, and I marked it, I marked where I was going to do that so the light comes through, because I knew I had certain pieces. So I wanted to make sure that you would still see those die cuts with those pieces. All right. So what's going to happen now is, due to time, I will finish this one off, and you will have a picture of it finished, but I've already prepped one. And so it'll go much faster. And this one, what I did the same thing with the holes. I did exactly the same, the two pieces. I actually, instead of the pumpkins, I actually went ahead and used these dies that are called the scary, they're called the scary, what are they again? The scary silhouette dies, the scary silhouette dies. And I used those to cut out these. And then I used the scary silhouette dies to do the moon and to do the bat. All right. And so what's going to happen then is that we're going to simply glue these together. And you see here. So another idiosyncrasy about this project, and we'll probably get back to this hopefully, but I will have a picture of it finished so you can see. But the idea is you're going to go ahead and glue these on top of each other. Once you have that done, you're going to simply glue that on top of one another. All right. There you go. And there you go. And there you go. There you go. And then you're going to take your votive holder, which I also cut out, and I still left that there. And this is going to be, my house is going to be my front. So I am going to put this on the back side. And I'm going to glue this down. Just like that. And so if you wanted to put that treat box in there, you could simply put that treat box in there. I'm going to center that. There you go. There you go. Like that and like that. Cool. And then what you're going to do after that, you are simply going to thread these. Now, again, the way you're going to do the threading is you start from the inside, just start from the inside. And I went at least 19 to 20 inches. And then when you go over a fold like this, when you go over a fold, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're connecting them from one strip to another through the outside like that. Okay. So, and then you're going to go up again. You're going to keep that straight. Then you're going to go up. I'm going to feed that through. So you definitely want to make sure that you have, so I'm going to a new strip. So I'm going to go from the outside to that new strip. And then on the inside from the other part. And that's all you're going to do here. Now, if you do use a bigger hole than the 1.5 inches, it won't fit your votive as well, okay? And so you'll have to be careful. The votive will fall off and you might have to use something like a little Velcro dot or something like that to keep it down. The other thing I want to say is that when doing this votive, non-directional paper is pretty much important because you're using that one strip, and therefore because of that one strip you're going to have to it's going to be upside down because you're using that one strip, and one side would be up and then the other side would be going down. So you want to make sure that it's non-directional. Otherwise, you would need 4 strips, half that size, basically, and change that up. Okay, so both of ours are right here now, okay, on the inside, and this is going to be fairly easy. You're going to make sure that you're taut enough. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just simply thread it back on the other one. So this is coming out from this hole. So I'm going to thread it through the inside out through that hole. Just going to do that. And then I'm going to go right over it. Okay, not a problem. And I'm going to go ahead and take it and go through that hole through the back, just like that. All right, like that. Make sure that that ribbon is straight. Now, all you want to do is make sure, see how nice and even it is. That's what's important. That's why you had to make those measurements. And you see how cute that is like that. And here is the one with the owl, and here is the one with the owl and the moon. Here's another owl and moon. And here is the owl and moon, an owl, bat, and the house. And so this would be my front, and this would be my back. You could have all sides decorated if you wanted to. I decided not to, but you could. This side, it came out, actually I started on the wrong place because this ends up to be, this ends up to be the front, but and I would have to rethread it. So I don't think I'm going to rethread it. You wanted to start on the front. So another thing to remind you is, instead of starting just anywhere, start at the front, like right here, and then bring it through. Now, I'm pretty sure I could probably trick it and do something else here where I could go through and out, but I think you get the idea as far as that goes. And what I am going to do then is I'm going to show you how to put a tag on. So here I did a little witching hat from the new punch, which I absolutely love, this punch. And so wishing you a happy Halloween. Just find something that's small. I actually put holes in the hat, a little rugged hat. We're in the woods, and I put a hole in the center. So, so that you see how you can go ahead and write a little sentiment and still, and you see how I do that. I thread that in there always. And then I can tie my bow. So you can see, actually, it's a little bit of an advantage because you can see here, how about if I didn't put any die cuts down or anything like that, how would that look? And that's backwards. So I was taught that, I think I mentioned this to you, that if you go upside down, the bow will come out correctly. Let's see. if you tie it upside down, and it does, see, I learned that trick. So you have something like that, and that's great because you've got your moon here, and your you have your moon and your bat, and you have your little animals. You could literally put another one there and let it be the back side. You could put a little cat in brown that way and have a cute little thing, or maybe here the cat, maybe two cats in brown on the side. That would be cute. That would be cute. I think I have two of them in brown. I'm pretty sure I do. Well, just to make life easier, I think that'd be cute. Or a house here, the house here, and the other one. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Another house, so that everywhere we have a house and a cat. And we can do that. So there is one thing I didn't tell you, I need to tell you about this. Besides the upside down thing, and I told you about the measurements for that, that was important. I'll just glue that down. There's one other thing that I will have to tell you, and then I'm going to put the cat right here. That's fun. That tail is messed up, so I don't want to do that. There's another cat here, and that'll be cute. The colors are soft suede and Calypso coral is what I did use. The paper, I believe, is from the Rings of Love. That was the celebration paper. But there is a wintry paper that we do have in the annual catalog that is very similar. So you see here, this is your little votive, your little woodland votive with your little wishing you happy Halloween. You can see why you could put a little treat in there. And so all sides have something, which is really cute. And so this does work out pretty well. So now what I want to do is I want to quickly show you, unfortunately, I don't have the votive here, and it'll take me a second, but you can look at that for just a moment while I get my votive to show you that it works. Luckily, nothing's too far from my craft room. Okay, so how you get in and out, here's my little votive here. I still have the little tab on that one, so I'm going to leave that there. And all you do is you can push this down to put it in. You'll see it fits perfectly. All right. And there you would have your little votive right in there. And because of the tight fit, it doesn't fall out. So that's why the 1.5 inches is really important. And again, you just push down, and this will be a great, again, night light for a child. So, or in the bathroom, just to have a little light on in the bathroom. That would be really cute. Decoration on your table. I think that's really a sweet little votive holder. Okay, little candle holder. All right, so let me see how much time I have used so far and see if I can't show you this other thing that I needed to show you. Okay, so once you have your holes, okay, and let's say I put some hole here also. I'm just going to put one hole here. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put it fairly high. I like them higher than lower. So I'm just going to do that way. All right. And I am going to do that leaf. And what I would do with that leaf is, again, I would simply go ahead. I guess I can go ahead and do that to show you. I'm going to put them again, both together, and do it through the machine. So I'll do right through my machine. I'll be right back again. Just a second with both of these. What you care about is it keeping it even in here when you do your cutting. Keep those strips even. And I'm running it through, you can hear me, I'm running it through a couple of times. And that is so that I make sure that I get it out. And there is that leaf. And that's just going to be a hole. Here is the leaf, and I might use that leaf. And so that is just a little hole right there. And so what I'm going to do on the other side is I'm going to take one of this punch that I've had in the past, and I'm simply going to go ahead and go as high as I can up here and just crunch that out like that. And so you've got two different ones. And of course, I would usually keep those together and crunch them out. But that's going to be cute like that. All right. So you can go ahead and use those as part of your decoration. And again, I would simply now, once that's done, what I didn't show you, that's why I'm doing this, is you have to curl. You have to curl these. Go slow because you just cut this, but you just curl that section, okay? That has to go up, that long section. That's all you're going to do is curl it up and curl it in from the outside. And then what we're going to do is, again, we're going to, and the reason I like the holes, obviously, is because I want more light to come through. So I really do like the holes. And what you want to do is once you put that into place, you want to make sure that both sides fold. Sorry about that. Whew. Let me do it this way. That'll be easier. Like that, and like that. And then that'll make it easier. And like that, and like that, and like that. All right. And so these are going out. So this again gets glued in place, just simply glued in place for your second little votive holder, like that. Just put it right in the center, like that. That's the cutest little thing. And so now what you want to do is I had, of course, when you do this, you want to put your little designs on. My designs are fairly easy. So I'm going to put this design on here, right here, like this. Yes. And so that was one design. And I cut this out of the new Harvest paper. I put it right at the edge. Doesn't matter if it goes over. The left side doesn't matter. I probably am going to put this leaf right here because I feel like that pansy leaf is perfect for the pumpkin. Go like that. Like it facing down. So you can go like that. All right. Then on the other side, what I wanted to do, this is upwards, and I do go to the opposite side. I wanted to put the pumpkin in. The pumpkin in. And again, I'm just going to put him like right there. And actually, what I did is I did it this way. I wanted the pumpkin over this side and the house over here. You don't want to go beyond that line, of course. I'm going to keep it above that line since I had some glue there. That would be that. See how cute? And so now what I would do is, so if this is my front, just like that, so cute. This is my front, and I would have to glue this down a little bit better. Make sure you glue it all the way down, otherwise it'll stand up, which is not bad. I mean, you can put it actually on dimensionals and that'll be cute because it'll stand up and stand out. That can be really cute. Just make sure that you don't go beyond that line. That's all that matters. There you go. Now, if I want this to be my front, right here, then my 20-inch thread is going to start here, right? Is going to start from the back side from my front. Yes? And then again, over, in, and out. And then you would have your little sweet. And then again, with that light in there, what's going to do is, because you have your holes, which I do like the holes, you're going to go ahead and have your light come through. And that's what I do like, is that light coming through these holes, because that's what it'll do besides the top. All right, so those are the candles. I will finish this one, and I will go ahead and put a picture on my Facebook page and my blog, obviously. All right, which if you are watching this from YouTube, will be in the directions how to get to my blog and a link to my Facebook page, so that you can see the pictures of these. There'll probably be a few of them, and so you can see more of them. So fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Keep the paper non-directional. Make sure that you go ahead and measure where you put those holes. All right, they can be closer together if you like, but make sure they're the same distance from the top. That's important. When you go ahead and do your holes, if you decide the various kinds of holes, make sure that you put them higher versus lower, because you will you won't be able to put anything on your surface. Of course, you put these on before you bring it all together. And so that's for sure. I was thinking the two sides were enough to do, but maybe not. Maybe all four sides needs a little something, which is quite fun. All right, so that for sure is a little more fun that way. All right, so, and you saw how to do the tag and how you can easily put a tag on there if you like, and you can keep the votive very clean and simple. All right, that's enough for today. That is it for my live. I hope you enjoyed this second project for the second week for a 10-week fall project. So you will be getting 8 more projects for the fall, and we are starting with Halloween. Okay, and then going into fall, and then finally going into Thanksgiving. All right. So these will be the two projects. There will be 10 projects. And this is the second. The first project was last week. And that was with the paper pumpkin and sunflowers, which I think is great to do sunflowers in the fall. So I hope this worked out for you. Heart, please comment if you like. And I will see you next week for the third item in a 10-week class, not class, 10-week time period. That's better said. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to you later. Thank you for visiting and see you soon.